allowed her that emotion.
This was a drive-in right here. Was not called a foul. And wow, I gotta tell you, it was on and popping in this game.
Even make a move to try to keep her off.
Caitlin crashed out on the refs. Right here. Right here. She lost it. And you could tell at one point in the game, later after this, she got pulled out of the game, and I think she slammed the table on the way out of the game. But this is another look at this.
Be making a deliberate attempt to undermine Caitlin Clark, according to a credible sports writer. Top league executives are in a panic as internal email reveals deliberate attempts to discredit the sophomore superstar. Get ready to face reality. Has the Indiana Fever's obsession with handling Caitlin Clark's tale been their biggest mistake to date? If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 93% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video.
This game tonight, so that they can say, well, look, this has happened. This is where we're reporting this whole fan base and something.
What looks to be a deliberate attempt to minimize Caitlin Clark's impact on women's basketball is being exposed by a real credential reporter with contacts within the league office. This isn't just any old Twitter account with a basketball emoji in their handle and
that the referee actually treated her like her name was LeBron.
The broad recognition the Indiana Fever had long sought has finally come their way. And it appears that their response is to make fun of the athlete who has gained millions of new admirers, Caitlin Clark. The entire situation was sparked by the now famous investigation into alleged racial slurs made during the Indiana Fever versus Golden State Valkyries game. Remember the game that Clark scored the incredible triple-double? In addition, the Fever broke 11 records by outscoring the Golden State Valkyries by a margin of 35 points. Instead of celebrating this incredible achievement, the WNBA launched an investigation based, wait for it, on tweets rather than evidence, audio, or video recordings. Christine Brennan, a respected journalist for USA Today, recently revealed something much more concerning. According to her sources, the investigation's objective was never to protect athletes from racist abuse. The objective was to find something to take the focus away from Clark's impressive performance. Brennan claims that in a leaked internal correspondence from the league office, a senior WNBA official stated, "Need to find balance in coverage. CC momentum becoming troublesome for league narrative." You read correctly. A league executive claims that a player's popularity is problematic. Imagine the NBA asserting that the popularity of LeBron James is harmful to the league's image. Everything's astonishing how absurd everything is, but it only gets worse. A communications plan that was created weeks before the Fever Golden State Valkyries game is described in Brennan's report. Though it may sound sensible at first, the approach outlines strategies to ensure that all players receive equitable coverage. Specifically, it outlines ways to restrict articles that center on Clark and shift media attention, regardless of on-court performance. The way the league has handled Clark since she entered the WNBA is greatly clarified by this. Her defense has been criticized repeatedly, her historic achievements have been minimized, and her body language and facial expressions have received unusual attention. It wasn't just random reporters with hidden agendas. The league appears to have had a genuine, well-thought-out strategy. This question is the perfect example of this strategy, so let's talk about it for a moment. 3 days after it was released, the WNBA claimed to have no completion schedule. Why, since there is nothing to look for. Nothing can be found by them. Natalie Nakase of the Golden State Valkyries, a former Indiana Fever coach, stated unequivocally that he did not hear anything inappropriate during the game. Many onlookers claimed there was little more than standard basketball heckling. At what some tried to pass off as racist chanting, they employed a well-known flight response sound effect that is frequently used at NBA venues, including Pacers games. It resembles a meme. That's it. It was the cause of this entire controversy. So why is the investigation still underway? According to Brennan's sources, the league is holding off on admitting the lack of evidence until another discovery is made. They are genuinely waiting for another disagreement to overshadow this one. That is not how journalism works. That doesn't protect gamers. It's damage control for a self-inflicted wound. However, as one WNBA source told Brennan, they're trying to find out how in a society when practically everything is recorded, no sound or video of these claimed statements exists because nothing occurred. The investigation itself has had a detrimental effect on the Indiana Fever's fan base, and a narrative that only exists on social media rather than in reality has been created. As they say, the severity of the accusation is what matters, not the quality of the proof. By starting its investigation based on unsubstantiated tweets, the WNBA validated baseless accusations. They effectively disregarded an entire fan base in order to divert attention away from Clark's incredible accomplishment. Concerns regarding the WNBA's current direction were expressed by staff members. The problem is that, as one employee put it, there is internal concern over Clark's popularity creating a scenario where casual fans only care about one player. Instead of using it to develop the entire league, there is this bizarre anger and aggressive attempt to minimize her. Why would a league that has struggled with attendance, popularity, and mainstream importance for years deliberately want to undermine its biggest star? Brennan's reporting provides fascinating insights. First, one of the main concerns appears to be the competitive balance in media coverage. Some league officials claim that allowing Clark to represent the WNBA could alienate other celebrities and their fan groups. This might make sense in principle, but in practice it shows a fundamental misconception about how sports marketing functions. Every successful sports league has its share of faces. According to Brennan sources, a number of influential figures in the league's hierarchy are concerned about the changing demographics of the WNBA fan base. Some are really concerned that Clark's new fans don't fit the perfect description. One person who spoke to Brennan said that the most confusing aspect of the whole situation is that new followers are seen with suspicion rather than as a chance for growth. The WNBA has fought for financial viability, media attention, and popularity for many years. They now have it, mostly due to Clark's appeal. However, some in the league appear to view this as a problem rather than a chance. Let's be more precise. In addition to being popular, Caitlin Clark is bringing previously unheard of attention to women's basketball. Her games sell out venues, break viewership records, sell out merchandise, and create a fight for television networks for broadcast rights. This is a tremendous win that women's basketball should celebrate. Instead, we receive questions based on internal strategies and tweets to limit coverage of the league's biggest star. It is the highest level of malpractice in an organization. Brennan's analysis offers examples of how this anti-Clark tactic has emerged in her early career. After she surpassed the NCAA scoring record, internal WNBA communication suggested downplaying rather than celebrating her achievement by emphasizing the fact that she played more games than previous record holders. She increased draft viewership, but rather than acknowledging her impact, the marketing focused on the overall quality of the draft class. Even more intriguing, when Clark achieved her first WNBA triple-double last season, becoming the fastest rookie to do it, the league's official social media initially highlighted a completely different statistical achievement from another player in the same game. It wasn't until after criticism that they properly acknowledged Clark's historic performance. It is really disheartening to learn from Brennan's study that this extends beyond public relations and social media. It also holds true for officiating. There have allegedly been discussions about utilizing officiating strategies to limit Clark's impact on games. Discussions over how to officiate certain athletes are common. Typically, stars get specific calls. A veteran referee informed Brennan that rookies do not yet receive attention. That's music typical, but I've never heard of an officiating tactic that purposefully reduces the appeal or efficacy of one player. This could help to explain why, despite being the most fouled player in college basketball, Clark has had such variable officiating throughout her WNBA career. Suddenly, she doesn't receive the same calls as an expert. She seems to be subjected to various levels of physical abuse than other guards. The WNBA has, of course, refuted each of these claims. According to their official statement, Brennan's reporting is unfounded and unworthy. Notably though, they have not responded to any of the particular allegations or provided an explanation for why they initiated an investigation based just on social media posts without any supporting data. Basketball fans' response has been enormous and quick. People are complaining about how the WNBA has handled these circumstances on various venues. Many draw attention to the hypocrisy of ignoring internet abuse directed at specific players while giving fast attention to unsubstantiated in-arena accusations. Others point out that this fits a pattern of the WNBA becoming uneasy about its own achievements. There seems to be an attempt to stir up controversy rather than celebrate expansion every time viewing increases and new people interact with the league. The fact that it obscures the real basketball being played is perhaps the most annoying part of the whole problem. The WNBA product has never been better. The caliber of talent is unprecedented. The game has changed over time to include more three-point shooting, a quicker tempo, and more points scored. More prepared than ever before, rookies are joining the league. With better nutrition and training, veterans are prolonging their careers. Caitlin Clark, whose game has significantly changed since her freshman season, is at the heart of this comeback. She has increased her efficiency, responded to criticism of her defense, and kept creating history with her special combination of playmaking and scoring. She has had an incredible sophomore campaign. However, the league is committed to finding musical methods to downplay these accomplishments rather than celebrate them. There seems to be a deliberate attempt to limit Clark's influence rather than utilizing her fame to improve the WNBA as a whole. This strategy is detrimental to all WNBA players, not just Clark. All boats are lifted by rising tides. Players like Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Angel Reese, Kelsey Plum, and scores of other amazing athletes are discovered as more people watch games as a result of Clark. These new fans develop a passion for women's basketball in addition to watching Indiana Fever games. This is supported by the stats. Not just Indiana Fever games, but all WNBA broadcasts have seen an increase in viewership. All teams are now more active on social media. League-wide merchandise sales have increased. Other players are not being negatively impacted by Clark's popularity. The environment as a whole is benefiting from it. Why is there so much opposition? According to Brennan's reporting, control may be a factor. The WNBA operated in a tiny bubble for many years. There wasn't much media attention. There weren't many devoted fans, and the league had considerable control over its own story. By introducing uncontrollable and undirected attention to the mainstream, Clark has upset that dynamic. It seems that some members of the league favored the more regulated, smaller setting of the past. They were at ease with steady development and upholding the status quo. Clark is a symbol of rapid, erratic expansion that upends established structures and shifts power relations. This story is as old as commerce itself. Even when disruptive change has clear advantages, established interests frequently oppose it. Consider how traditional taxi firms opposed ride-sharing applications, or how the music industry once opposed streaming. Change is frightening, particularly when it puts established power structures in jeopardy. However, people who oppose unavoidable change typically wind up on the wrong side of history. Right now, the WNBA has a great chance to capitalize on the unheard of attention, embrace new fans, and expand the league to previously unheard of heights. But if Brennan's reporting is accurate, some league players are actively opposing this expansion. The irony hurts. Some league members appear ready to undermine their own success since it is not going exactly as they had hoped, despite years of battling for greater media coverage, more fans, and more funding. I am just focused on basketball. Caitlin Clark herself has handled this circumstance with incredible poise, stating, "I have no control over anything other than how I play and interact with others." Instead of feeling overwhelmed by Caitlin Clark's entrance, Aaliyah Boston, the former #1 choice, embraced her as a teammate. Aaliyah Boston said, "It is disappointing to see," in response to a question concerning the purported agenda against Caitlin Clark. That degree of maturity and concentration is remarkable for any athlete, much less a 23-year-old in her second professional season. Her teammates have been just as encouraging. "We are aware of Caitlin Clark's commitment and her worth to our team and the league." The Golden State Valkyries coach, Natalie Nakase, is also worthy of praise. Caitlin Clark's contributions to women's basketball should be applauded by everyone who truly enjoys the sport. Despite being the victim of that 35-point approach, he was open about his experiences with Indiana Fever. His candor stands in stark contrast to the unnamed sources who spread the racist narrative on social media following the game. The most worrying aspect of Brennan's findings is how it might affect this summer's All-Star game in Indianapolis. According to her sources, there have already been talks about possibly postponing the event due to the unsubstantiated claims from the Indiana Fever Golden State Valkyries game. Please share your thoughts in the comments section, subscribe and turn on all alerts to ensure you don't miss anything. Once you click the video on the screen, we'll see you in the next one. Then turn on all alerts to ensure you don't miss anything. Once you click the video on the screen, we'll see you in the next one. If you are a Clark fan, comment below. CC 100%.